This is the Analysis in Chains with Nathan Williams and Neil Kieran.
Greetings, one and everyone. Welcome to Analysis in Chains. I'm Nathan Williams. Neil is not here today, so I've got you all to myself. Ha 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 ha. If you are in Berlin on the 5th of October, that would be this Friday, we will be having an event called Blockchain for Africa. We have a speaker from the Africa Progress Group. We've got Murdoch University, which is a research university for Africa research. We've got even a message from the African Development Bank and also blockchain startups, including my own, MindSpider, who will be presenting and talking about a panel discussion, as well as a presenter from the GIZ, the German Development Agency. So, be very exciting. It's this Friday, October 5th, and you can find out more and get your ticket, free ticket, at www.blockchain4, that's a number 4, Africa, blockchainforafrica.org, and the link will be in the description. I've been thinking a lot since last week, since the interview with Phil Zamani from Ergo, about this idea that you can have blockchain and separate it from cryptocurrency. I've been thinking about it because I've heard it a lot. I've heard it from researchers, from people in industry. And when we were talking last week with Phil Zamani, the idea came up that there are companies, any one of the big companies that would have a DLT proprietary technology that they would like to sell, well, they would have a vested interest in pushing this line. And the mentality behind it does sort of make sense. Last year, we had a lot of hype over cryptocurrency, ICOs, such that it was completely Wild West. We had scam tokens, useless coins, we had BitConnect, we have all sorts of things that we would rather not remember, as well as good projects. And with that, people are obviously, naturally, more cautious. However, I do have a standard line when I hear people say, I like my blockchain, I don't like crypto. And this is, again, usually the big companies that are saying that, people who are looking at making investments in the industrial space. And that is that without cryptocurrency, you lose the ability to create new infrastructure. You're limited to doing proprietary software projects with blockchain. I'll give you an example of what I mean. I often speak of infrastructure as because it's just so the exciting aspect of blockchain. So infrastructure projects are projects where we all use them. It's like a utility. It's something where everyone who participates gets a benefit. But it's sort of required to make other things run. So an example is a road. How do you pay for road infrastructure? Well, with the government, of course. I mean, maybe one or two highways would be private and toll, but generally you pay for it through your taxes. There are other types of infrastructure, such as phone lines, where it's paid for privately, but it's heavily, heavily regulated in order to prevent 500 phone competitors from each digging up the roads in order to lay their new copper wire every 3 weeks. And so you need to have it heavily regulated to control the price and make sure it's fair for the consumers. Now, when the internet came around, the problem was that you had this new infrastructure, these internet, the social media, Facebook, you had search with Google, and this is all infrastructure. This is all stuff that people needed to have access to just use the basics of the internet. And that wasn't regulated. And so what ended up happening is, with this giant gray area of what counts as okay, people ended up stealing your data and using it to sell ads and sell it to third parties so that they can sell ads. or political groups so that they could manipulate you into thinking what they wanted you to think. And none of us were immune to that. And so that's probably pretty negative. And so now that we have the ability for blockchain to create a cryptocurrency, you have the ability to incentivize people to act according to the rules of a system. This means you can create infrastructure that essentially pays for itself through use. I'll throw out a couple of examples. One of my friends, who we've had on the show before, and is Sam Williams, the CEO of Arweave. And Arweave is an infrastructure project. It is a incentivized system that allows you to use part of your hard disk space to host data, hosting large amounts of data on the blockchain. And it's done in such a way that you have an incentive to keep old data available for others, as well as new data. And all data is equally incentivized. So you have a cryptocurrency and you receive cryptocurrency if you are participating in the system and making the data available. If you didn't have a cryptocurrency, the only people that would participate are the people that really believed in the project, but they would be getting nothing out of it. And you could pay them without a cryptocurrency, but that would require having a centralized company. That the centralized company would bill people for putting up new data to be stored, and it would pay people to host on their hard disk space. If you don't have the cryptocurrency, essentially what you have is Amazon Cloud Services, but maybe it makes use of other people's hard drives instead of just a data center. So this is an example that if you've got a cryptocurrency, you've got a way for a system to regulate itself without a central company. So the ability to decentralize, the ability to have incentives in an infrastructure project that doesn't have a central entity rests on having a cryptocurrency. That doesn't mean that all cryptocurrencies are good. If you have a system where you have a fixed number of tokens and one central entity is taking a payment for those tokens and it removes over time the tokens from the system, then there will be fewer tokens, the price will go up, and then the central entity has the ability to dump tokens, and so therefore it acts as a Ponzi scheme. However, it is not always true. If you have no central entity that is taking a fee, or the ability for multiple companies to build on the same infrastructure, then these utility tokens, or cryptocurrencies, can act as a proper way of making a system function. I think it's complex. It has to be handled on a case-by-case basis. That said, I think that our ability to make these infrastructure projects and these truly exciting projects that will decentralize these historically centralized systems is going to require us to be a little more careful about our token design. How are the tokens designed? Are they incentivizing people properly? And are people going to lose? And as long as we've got that in mind when we design our tokens, as long as we've got this idea of creating a better infrastructure that distributes power and control among the people that benefit from it, then I think we'll do okay. I think the days of people making scam coins are probably over for the most part. Like right now, people are waiting for good regulatory structures. They're not trying to scam people like they were before because it's much harder to get away with it now. And there's less money in the market for these crazy ICOs. And this is the type of fertile ground that can cause the good infrastructure projects to grow. So in conclusion, cryptocurrencies have had a bad rap. People are still talking negatively about them, but they are required to do a truly decentralized infrastructure. Not everything needs to be decentralized, but I do think that what we will see is the most exciting projects are going to have some sort of cryptocurrency associated with them. Thanks for listening, and keep on hashing.